Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to Retro Game Haul. Thank you so much for stopping by. Man, is this one overdue. I mean, here we are into February, and I'm just now getting around to my December game haul, my year-end for 2013 game haul. And man, I really didn't think I could top the one for November, but I got a lot of love in December from friends and family. So, and just the things that I've picked up in flea markets and eBay deals, Craigslist deals, and conventions and things like that. So it's, man, I wish you guys could see this bounty that's sitting here in front of me. But yeah, biggest haul ever. So please bear with me on this one. Let's go ahead and get right into it and see what we got. As I'd mentioned in previous videos, guys, I'm a huge fan of Bomberman. I really and truly love collecting for that video game series, simply because I can collect for it across all my retro platforms. Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, GameCube, Sega Genesis, PlayStation 2, Dreamcast, even TurboGrafx. They each of those has at least one Bomberman game. There's so many of them out there, man. It's just such a joy to get to collect them. So what do you say we start off this month with my Bomberman pickups? Okay, so first of all, we got Bomberman Party Edition for the PlayStation 1. I actually haven't played this one, but just going by what I see on the back here, it almost kind of looks like your standard Bomberman game, between 2 and 5 players. You need the multi-tap for the PlayStation to be able to play this, but almost like Mario Party. It's got a bunch of different games and things like that. Battle mode, custom battle mode, different types of little mini games and things like that. So that's always fun. I love the Mario Party series, and this one will definitely be a lot of fun. Next, we got Bomberman Online for the Sega Dreamcast. Obviously, I can't play the online portion of it, but it does have an offline part of it. Basically, all this is just the first Bomberman game where they took it online, where you could play the standard Bomberman battle style, but you could play against people online through the Sega Dreamcast, which had a 56K dial-up modem in it. So obviously I can't do that, but just the standard 1 to 4 players, offline is definitely cool. Definitely a welcome addition to the Bomberman collection here. Okay, next we got Super Bomberman 2, complete in the box. Got a little protective case around here. I had this one previously, but I just didn't have the box and the manual for it, and I was able to snag a clean enough box for it. This thing is just in phenomenal shape. For my Bomberman stuff, I definitely shoot for a cut above, if possible. If I can get the things in a little bit better shape, I'm usually willing to pay for it, just to have that extra condition, just for collecting purposes. So, very cool. Okay, next we got a really rare one here, guys. I was very fortunate to be able to pick this one up. We got Bomberman 2 for the NES. First Bomberman game is okay. It's definitely historic. It's a cool, neat little game, but it plays a little bit more like an Atari game. Bomberman 2, on the other hand, plays a lot more like an NES game. That was like the first kind of what we'll call modern Bomberman game, playing in the play style that we're kind of accustomed to, those of us out there who love Bomberman games. This is actually one of the rarer NES games. You see this occasionally for sale on markets like eBay and Amazon and stuff like that, but it doesn't come up super often, and it's not cheap. This game averages between $80 and $100 just for the loose cart, let alone the box and the manual. I was fortunate enough to pick this up for 48 bucks. So I really got a really awesome deal on this. I was very, very lucky that I held out and didn't buy it, just because I got a great deal. A nice clean label, did come with a sleeve and everything, so very awesome. Okay, so you may have seen during the MagFest coverage, Chuck and I were showing one of the pickups that I got from MagFest, which was Bomberman 93 for the TurboGrafx 16. I got that in the box with the manual and everything, so that was very, very cool. Definitely the rarest Bomberman game as far as I'm concerned. So some of them may disagree with me and say the Saturn version is different, but the bottom line is, guys, if I go on eBay right now, I'm going to find at least 3 or 4 auctions for that Saturn game. I'm going to be lucky if I find one for Bomberman 93. So, the Saturn one may cost more, but as far as I'm concerned, that's a little bit harder to find because they made a lot less of them. Just my 2 cents. But going with that same fold, I was lucky enough to pick up another really awesome Bomberman collectible here. I've been waiting to get this, just waiting for the right price. Again, I do have this game in the conventional box, but I really wanted to get this special limited edition. You got the Super Bomberman rather, for Super Nintendo in the big box, and it's got the Super Multi-Tap with it, as you can see pictured there. This is all made by Hudson Soft, so you can rock 5-player on the Super Nintendo. This is complete. I'll open this guy up for you. It's all there. Does have the manual and all the attachments and things with it. Again, I do have this one in a regular Super NES box, but this is definitely the version that I wanted. I mean, this would be the equivalent of like the collector's edition when they brought out a modern game in this day and age. So very cool. This looks really awesome on my shelf. Okay, so let's get into some NES loose cards. First, we got another edition for the black box titles. Got Clue Land. Definitely one of the harder ones to find. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get it in the box, but I did get a great price on just the loose cards. So very cool. Next, we got Kid Nicky. I figured I've got the full-size arcade game downstairs. You know, I might as well have the one that I actually remember playing when I was a kid. Gotta love that pink label, man. Oh, that's so 80s. I love it. This is the game I remember playing as a kid. I actually got this for getting, I think I got 2 A's on my report card. My mom took me to Toys R Us as a little kid to buy this. This was my reward, and I absolutely loved it. Next, we got Mega Man 3, just a loose card, no box or anything. Definitely one of the better Mega Mans in my opinion. The bosses definitely were a lot better in this one. It was definitely a step up from Mega Man 2, which equally was a step up from Mega Man 1, so very cool. Next, we got a Christmas gift from dear old Sis. Thanks, Sis, so much for this. She's a big fan of this series, so she kind of, I'll say half selfishly bought this just so we could play it since she doesn't own a Nintendo. We get the original Mega Man. This one definitely keeps escalating in value, so if you're a Mega Man collector, I would go ahead and pick one up because these are not going to get any cheaper anytime soon. Now let's move on to some loose N64 cards. First, we got Jet Force Gemini. This is a rare game, guys, and I don't mean rare as in hard to find. I mean made by the company Rare, as you see in the on the label right there. Same guys who made GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, Donkey Kong Country, all those guys. Definitely an unsung hero in the world of N64 games, in my opinion. It's definitely a solid game. Not a AAA game by any means, but definitely one worth picking up, and you can get these pretty cheap right now, so definitely recommend this one. Next, we got Lego Racers. Absolutely love Lego games, guys, especially the modern ones for the new consoles. Anytime I get a chance to pick one up, it just kind of brings out the kid in me. Got Army Men, Sarge's Heroes. I used to love playing these Army Men games way back when. These were just so much fun to play, just kind of silly fun to play with your friends. Then we got Army Men Air Combat, one of the very few green N64 cards. I almost kind of picked up this game just for the green card alone, just because it looks kind of cool on the shelf, but really dig the Army Men series, a lot of fun. Now let's check out some loose Game Boy games. I picked these up at a local pawn shop, actually. We got Wario Land 2, we got Street Fighter 2, and we got Tetris Attack. Okay, next we got a couple Goodwill scores. I found these at my local Goodwill, and these are actually sealed, complete in the box. Original Game Boy Advance games, not the best games, but they were sealed and only a few bucks. We got Risk, Battleship, and Clue, and we got Uno and Skip-Bo, whatever that is. Then we got the original Bomberman for Game Boy Advance. It's really just an NES port, but it was able to get this complete in box with the manual for just a few bucks, so very cool. And we got a recommendation from my buddy Metroid's Primed, of course a Metroid game, Metroid Fusion. First time I'd actually played this one, and very cool. Kind of reminds me of the second one, which was one of the first ones I played on the Game Boy, which was Metroid 2 Return of Samus. Very cool game, and this one's definitely an awesome update to that. Alright, got a couple cleaning kits. As I'd shown you guys in previous videos, I do collect original Nintendo cleaning kits. I think they're a lot of fun to collect for. Got a Game Boy cleaning kit here, sealed with the hang tag on the back of them. You can still get these because apparently they made a lot of them. Cleaning kits are one of the things that I definitely want to get sealed, simply because I'm never going to use them to clean my stuff. I already have a modern cleaning kit that I can use to clean my cartridges, but I just really like collecting these things. These are just kind of an odd curiosity in the collection. Next we have a cleaning kit for the Nintendo 64, still has the hang tab on it. Again, I definitely like to get these sealed. This one pretty much wraps up my cleaning kit collection for Nintendo. I have at least one original first-party Nintendo cleaning kit for each of the cartridge-based systems that I collect. So Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boys you just saw in Nintendo 64, so very cool. Next we got a little box that I got for an N64 memory card. It doesn't have one in there, but those things are a dime a dozen these days, guys. I mainly bought it because this was such an awesome condition box. And again, I love the first-party Nintendo boxes. They're always just so appealing to me for some reason. I don't know, maybe because I just remember these fondly from my childhood, but just love looking at these things. Alright, next we got Final Fight, complete in box. Not the best box I've ever seen. I'm still working on getting that little price tag off, but I got it for like $8, complete with the game, and it does have a manual in it, so I didn't own the original Final Fight game, and now I've got it. Then we got a box for Shadows of the Empire. Did not come with the game, but again, every time I get a chance to get a box, guys, since the boxes are always harder to find, I'll definitely go out of my way to pick one up if I can get it for the right price. Okay, next we got some complete in box NES games. First we've got City Connection, definitely one of my favorite Jellicoe games. It's just kind of a fun little silly game where you got a jumping car and you're cruising through Tokyo, you know, New York and all these other cities, and it's just kind of silly fun, you know, one of the fondly remembered NES games. Next we got, in addition to the Black Box Collection, awesome looking box, man, 10-yard fight, complete. Probably the first football game I ever played, with the exception of Atari. Not the best one out there. Definitely Tecmo Bowl was the first one that really hit it big with me, but this one's definitely still a blast to play. Next we got Blaster Master. Absolutely loved this game when I was a kid. Remember reading the tricks for it in Nintendo Power, where you could do the pause cheat, where you could throw a grenade at a boss while it was hitting him, hit the pause button, and it would continue to damage them, even when the game was paused, which I thought was so awesome. Very difficult game towards the advanced stages, but still a lot of fun to play. Next we got Hide Lied, complete in box. Not a good game, guys. I know that this one is not fantastic, but really great condition box. Again, it's complete and only a few bucks. Why not, right? Next we got one that is really hard to find, and I absolutely stole this one. The seller definitely did not know what they had. We got Chiller. Unfortunately, it's not complete in the box yet, but the condition of this box, I mean, look at this. It's not flawless. I've got ones that are better than this, but I've got ones that are a lot worse than this. The box alone on this thing is normally, if you're lucky, 50, 60 bucks. I paid 16. Shipped. I couldn't pass that up. Again, I don't even own the Chiller game yet, but for this, I just couldn't pass this up just because this is so hard to find. Next, we're going to move on to some TurboGrafx games. Okay, first we got one that's actually complete and sealed, which for TurboGrafx is not easy. I was actually able to pick up a couple of these, and I sent one to one of my buddies here on YouTube. It's Final Lap Twin. Still has the original hang tab on the back there. Just kind of your standard pole position style racing game, not really much to it. It is still fun, don't get me wrong, but just I already had the game loose, so I can actually play it. Don't have to worry about opening this one, but still definitely a cool game in my opinion. Next we got JJ and Jeff. I actually bought this one when I was a kid. I think I paid less than $20 for it with my own money, and you know, saving up mowing lawns and stuff. And just kind of a silly platformer style game. It's really funny to play because your characters have like these enormous heads. They almost look like caricatures, but just kind of silly, zany fun. You can get this for a pretty decent price on the TurboGrafx, and it's definitely worth the pickup if you collect these. Next we got Dragon Spirit, one of the best shooters on the TurboGrafx. Always wanted to play this game and just been waiting for the right price on it. Definitely worth the pickup, man. This one is on a lot of people's top 20 or top 10 lists for the TurboGrafx, so definitely check this one out. Next we got one I have never played before, but I'm familiar with, Impossible. I've heard a little bit about this one. Heard it's not a particularly fantastic game, but definitely kind of worth a play because it's just kind of kooky and weird. Then we got one I'm definitely familiar with here, Bomberman, the first one for the TurboGrafx 16. If I remember correctly, I think this was the first Bomberman game I actually remember seeing. A guy that I knew had a copy of this and let me play it, and I just kind of fell in love with it, man. I was just so mystified by how cool the gameplay is. Definitely one of the best Bomberman games I've ever played. Next we got Ballistics. I really don't know that much about this one. I think this one's a shooter, if I remember right. And you're just kind of flying through the air, you know, throwing missiles and all this kind of weird stuff at it. It looks kind of zany, but definitely looking forward to checking this one out. We got Sports TV Basketball. This was the only Sports TV game that I didn't have. I got hockey, football, baseball, etc. Didn't have this one, so just kind of got it as a throw-in package with a few other games. And lastly, this is definitely one of the ones to pick up. Parasol Stars. Guys, you may notice that logo in the lower left-hand corner there, Working Designs. These games from this company have definitely gone through the roof as of late, and they're getting harder and harder to find. But more onto the game. Parasol Stars is basically Bubble Bobble 3. So if you like the play style of Bubble Bobble, you will definitely like this game. That kind of zany little fun. You're playing as these two little kids instead of the little dragons, but it's the same style of game. So if you dig Bubble Bobble and you collect TurboGrafx games, you gotta check out Parasol Stars. Alright, we got one PlayStation game here, Army Men 3D. Just was kind of on an Army Men kick as of late, and love collecting this series. It's just really a lot of fun. Okay, next we got some games for the Wii. Got Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, Cursed Mountain Limited Edition. This one almost seems like Resident Evil on a mountain. I don't know much about it, but just from what I've read, it's made by Deep Silver. For those of you who are unfamiliar, those are the guys who made the Dead Island series, which I love. I love those games, so I just thought I would check it out and see what it's all about. Then we got No More Heroes. I heard a lot about this game. Definitely some really zany stuff when you got to power up your little kind of lightsaber looking thing. Definitely a very adult-oriented game, but kind of silly, zany fun. That's definitely just the type of stuff that I like to play with my Wii games. Then we got Obscure, The Aftermath. Never played this one the first go-around. I do have the original Obscure for the Xbox. Very cool game because it was a co-op survival horror game. This was long before Resident Evil started doing that, which is what really drew me in. This one does have co-op. so second player can join in at any time, and that's really what I love about this series, and this kind of picks up a few years later after the first story. Then we got Mad World from Sega, a black and white game except for the blood. I've heard this one's super violent, but really cool, kind of like almost like a Punisher type game where you're just running around jacking dudes up left and right. Then we got Sega Sonic All-Stars. This was just basically a free game that someone I know had an extra copy of, and they decided to give it to me, and I was like, yeah, I'll check it out, why not, man. Manhunt 2, this one's definitely going to be a collector's item someday, I think. Didn't really sell all that well, and I like the Manhunt series, even though this is kind of like a neutered version of it compared to the first one, since they kind of cut out the good stuff, but still worth the playthrough in my opinion. Okay, then we got a few GameCube games. Got Sonic Mega Collection, Cell Damage, and Metroid Prime 2, Echoes. We got a Sega CD pickup, Final Fight CD. I basically heard from some of my buddies that this is more or less the final fight to play. Like if you want to play the authentic arcade version without using a ROM, without actually having the arcade cabinet, this one is basically a spot-on port of the first one. I've got a little custom case for it inside there to hold the game, since it didn't originally come when it came in a box. So very cool, looking forward to playing this one. We got one Sega Genesis game, a pickup from my local Goodwill, Bart's Nightmare. Then we got a few Xbox games that I was able to get for really cheap. First one I picked up, I know it's the Platinum Hits version, but it's End of the Matrix. I also got the regular version, basically free with it. Mercenaries, Playground of Destruction. Definitely one that almost made my hidden gems list for my Xbox video, but this one sold a little bit too well, I think, to do that, since it got a sequel. But if you haven't checked this one out, definitely a lot of fun. Give it a go. Then we got Playboy, The Mansion. Don't know much about this one other than you're playing as Hugh Hefner and just kind of lounge around and be a playboy. Got Bruce Lee, Quest of the Dragon. Played this one the first time around. Not a good game by any means, guys, but a really funny game. I think I got this for $1. X-Men Legends 2, very cool game. If you like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, you'll definitely like this. Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball, the game that made grown men giggle. Then we got Final Fight Streetwise. This one has definitely continued to climb in price. If you like the Final Fight series, go ahead and check this one out. Next we got some PS2 games. Got Castlevania, Lament of Innocence. Haven't played this one yet. Orphan, Scion of Sorcery. Definitely looked like an interesting game. Got this one for a couple bucks. Metal Gear Solid 2. Altogether, I was able to get a trilogy of games you're probably familiar with. GTA San Andreas, GTA Vice City, in my opinion, the greatest Grand Theft Auto game ever made. And you got the one that more or less started it all, Grand Theft Auto 3. I got God of War 2, 2-disc set. I've never played a God of War game. I know. I know this is the greatest hits, but the first God of War, again, you got to start somewhere, and this one I was able to get for, what does that say, $4.99? Why not? Then we got Obscure the Aftermath. Again, I already have it on the Wii, but figured I'd check it out for the PS2 since it only cost me $3.99. Then we got Siren for the PS2. Looks almost like a Silent Hill type of game, and I really like games like that, so this one should be fun. So that wraps up this portion of the December Retro Game Haul. I'm basically splitting this one into two parts just because I've got so much stuff. In the next episode, which you should see up, there should be a link right down there in your description box. We're going to get into some manuals and rarities and things like that I picked up. I just kind of went on a manual kick in December and got some really great stuff for some really great deals. We got some consoles, some complete in box consoles, both old and new, so go ahead and check that video out and just see what I got into. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next Retro Game Haul.